All right, kids and kids at heart, it's time for Bingo is Life. The podcast. Over here, the young men known as the Howdy Show brothers, Chris and Mike, with the Bingo is Life t-shirts.
Hello.
They look...
You're looking rather dapper yourself there, Jay.
Thank you, with my $4.99 Roses hat.
Oh, Roses. How long did it take you to get that hat, though, once you picked it out? I mean, you picked it out.
It took me we already had this discussion last week.
Right. I'm sorry.
Over here.
How long has he had that hat before he got it covered in grass? Story to follow.
Over here, the king of the wild frontier, Dan Easley.
I'm Dan Easley.
And this is Barbara Gordon to Hagrietta's Batgirl. The one and only Mum Shackles.
Nothing like a analogy.
No, she's like your alternate,
Sure.
I believe that was more of a metaphor.
metaphor.
Metaphor would be with you.
I watch that MeTV Saturday nights. Batman, Lost in Space, Star Trek, Kojak the Night Stalker.
Do you have your AARP card?
Yeah. Oh, I've had that for a long time, buddy.
And who are you?
Oh, I'm still Jay's heir, still on the green side of the dirt. We got some great guests coming up here in the Silent Dave and Aaron chair. I played the last game of bingo, but I didn't win. I was really sad.
It was so exciting. Jay steps in, and some of the regulars pulled him a chair and said, "Come here, play with us, play with us." And he sat at their table.
It was sweet to see that.
He's so good at making friends.
Well, we're building community here, you see.
Before we get rolling, tomorrow night, if you're listening to this live, we have the Friendly City Fables at Court Square Theater featuring Mum Shackles as Hagrietta and all the other rest of the crew.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. Come on out.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons themed long form improv. It's really cool.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, it's all right. It's like if you like fantasy stuff and silly stuff, there it is. 7:30, Court Square Theater. Moving on.
How did the rehearsal go Thursday night at the Howdy Show on stage?
It was spectacular.
I can imagine.
Loud. Russell is the loudest piano player I've ever played with.
Yes.
Considering
and I'm a drummer.
Considering the deafness-inducing Howdy Show Brothers conglomeration, that's saying a lot.
But it was great. So we had Josh Vanda come in from Salem now, I guess is where he lives. Russell Shank came in, and then the rest of the boys from the Dr. Howe guys.
And it was a blast.
It was super fun, and Rolling Stones covered. It's going to be awesome.
We practiced last night, too.
Sweet. With Bruce Johnson?
With Bruce Johnson and John Goldman and Sean and
No
Stan.
way.
Yeah.
I need the full list so I can put that on something.
And also got to hear Amateur Rodeo play their song.
No,
I did.
really?
So what's the deal? Last year I had to go after Cheryl Sewell, and this year I have to go after...
Because you
Julia
share
Catherine.
a drummer.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now, after listening to this woman who can really sing for real, Jay's there.
Here's a white man.
Yeah. An old white guy.
That's how he's introduced everyone. And here's the way.
But now it's time for an unexpected notion with Dan Easley.
If you want to know what the root system of a tree looks like, look at the part of it that's above ground. I'm Dan Easley.
That was another unexpected notion with Dan Easley.
Leaning into the science.
Science!
He's going back to his roots.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm
Just
so
ingrained.
excited to introduce our next guest. What's up, y'all? This is, I'll tell you a quick tale. Blacks Run Cleanup Day. I go down there. I get the email saying, hey, come join our crew. And it ended up walking around with these two lovely people, and we had a blast. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach and Amberlee.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for being here. The owners of Sage Bird Cidery, the cidery of Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's like the best Karma outfit in town for like the breweries and the wineries and everything. It just has such a great vibe.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, you've been incredibly kind to me. You've let me play there a bunch of times. My son played there.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is you guys are celebrating 4 years of owning Sage Bird, downtown Harrisonburg. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Crazy.
How's it feel?
It's unreal.
It is unreal.
Zach's an artist, a designer, and I was a teacher, and we started an alcohol business together.
Hey.
Yeah, in the middle of a global pandemic.
Yeah,
So,
2020.
Okay. Yeah. So
Best time to start drinking.
that was my question. I was doing the math. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. You started right when it was all. You're nodding yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, tell the story then. How did that begin?
To be fair, we started this project before the world fell apart. So,
Right.
we were making cider at home. It was always a hobby. I think both of us were looking for a change, and I took some classes through Portland State University on the business of craft brewing. So it had nothing to do with making alcohol, just more the finances and the boring stuff.
Right.
But
Were you
really
in Oregon
important stuff.
Were you in Oregon at the time?
I was here. It's the internet.
Oh, I forgot about that internet.
You can do anything, Jay.
You won't hear about the internet on Me TV.
I was wondering about that. Go ahead.
So I did that really as a feasibility study, just to kind of see if it could work. And we came out the other end thinking,
Maybe.
it was not a definite no. So that meant let's go for it.
Yeah.
So we started looking around. We actually signed a lease on our current space and started spending money in June of 2019. Slow progress, and we're getting really excited to open probably in like March of 2020 or so. So that all happened, and we thought, very seriously, like, do we keep going with this? This seems crazy. We're trying to do something that is asking people to gather in person. And that was always kind of built into what we wanted to do. We wanted it to be a community space. We wanted it to be a space for the arts, where and we like to party. We want to bring people together. So we thought very seriously about whether we continue or not, and realized we were in too deep to walk away.
And we believed in what we had.
We did. But there was definitely a financial realization of.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was the breadwinner as the 6th grade English teacher. I kept doing that for a couple years.
Big money.
Oh yeah, so we knew we could, we had that as our fallback.
We had that.
You had your VRS.
We do have.
Oh yeah, I was
Still got it.
vested.
She's vested.
We do have some people listening sometimes who haven't been
Really?
in Harrisonburg for a while. This where you're located is this great new development on the north end of town, in what used to be the Big A tire.
Big L
Big L
Tire.
Tire Company, but it's and you're in a new building across the street from where that was.
Yeah, it was part of the original Big L complex campus.
See, back in the day when Jay was a young man, it was
That was
Big A.
Big A. And that was the new building.
You got there with the L.
I got the big part right.
Yes, yeah. In the old Big L Tire sort of complex, there's a bunch of cool stuff in that neighborhood now. Magpie Diner, Chestnut Ridge, the Mercantile, Rootstock Wine Bar. There's all sorts of cool stuff there. We opened just a month after Magpie on that same block. And so, yeah, it's cool to see kind of that area growing.
The building you're in, that's new, right? Or no?
It was there.
That was there.
It was their like brake repair
Yeah.
garage, and it looks very different now than it did then.
Yeah, you can tell by the floor though. We left all the oil stains, and, the screws for where they would
Where the
jack up
lifts
the
were and stuff,
car.
yeah.
You have a
It
stain
has
there.
a nice industrial.
Yeah, we
blend.
wanted a nod to what the roots of
Yeah.
the building were.
I had the pleasure of going to a wedding in the space across from you guys that they rent out the top of that. I don't know what it's called.
loft?
The loft.
The loft.
loft.
Yes, thank you. And it was awesome. So lived in Harrisonburg a long time, folks. That chicken plant can just reek
Oh yeah.
over there. And I was shocked.
Harrisonburg.
I was shocked
Over there in particular.
Yeah. I was like, holy I mean, it was intense. Now it was fine inside, and it was fine at Magpie.
Yeah.
But I mean, like
the backside.
the
of that
back
building.
side of that building, shocking, shocking. And like within like 20 feet, there are people drinking wine. I'm going, really?
They were standing outside the force field.
No, but I think it does. I think it just is like there's like a spot where it's good, and then a spot where it's just
That was
not.
the silver lining of the pandemic. None of us can smell anything anymore.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I just foresee it though. I think it's that we're taking over that whole side.
We'll see. Yeah,
It's going to happen.
yeah.
So what? Tell us what were your obstacles in getting going here?
Oh, goodness.
Tell us a fun story.
Oh no, where'd you get your apples from? I mean, isn't that like you have to find a bunch of apples?
Yeah, I mean, we make everything on site, which is cool. It's not a huge space, but so we've had to be like kind of really efficient with what we do. And that's more my domain. Amberlee does a lot of the marketing, social media. She does all the mural painting. We're definitely.
You actually do the mural painting?
I do.
All the ones on the side there with the.
Not all of them. I have partnered with a lot of other local artists.
Did Elliot do one of those?
Elliot and I did the love outside.
Yeah.
Elliot did the bees in the bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
No,
Yeah.
Your space is beautiful.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think it is probably one of, so when people come into town, we take them, people, it's a spot people want to take
Thank
people
you.
to.
Awesome.
Because it's a beautiful spot.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we put a lot of work into that. I was a graphic designer before, and again, Amberlee's an artist, photographer, watercolor painter. So that kind of that aesthetic is something that we wanted to create. That was part of what we were setting out to do, and
And the delay of the pandemic allowed us to, put more time into the paintings and all the details. And we were in there sanding the bar and building this thing and painting this wall. And so that was kind of a beautiful part of not being able to go anywhere was we just went to this budding business we were trying to start and made that even more special. And
Was there a point during the pandemic when you realized, I think we're going to get through this? Because I know that everybody was just waiting for so long, like, oh God, are we going to survive this?
yeah.
I mean, there were, I got let go from my job 1 week into when we were
right?
shutting down for 2 weeks.
Oh, my Lord.
That's no hard feelings on them.
Yeah.
I love those folks to death. But that pushed us to like, this has to work.
Yeah.
now.
Okay,
there's
cool.
no other option.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, obviously, there was a lot of anxiety. I don't think I ate
sure.
for like 4 days
Yeah.
before we opened. But
That's how you know you care.
Right. Yeah. You can't even keep food down.
When it
Hurts
kills
you.
Were people still masked up when you?
Oh, absolutely. And we were,
We had the alcohol curfew. We had like 10-person limit still.
to groups. Everything was distanced inside. We had no bar stools. Like it was an interesting time to open. Now, I walked down that first day that we opened, and there was like a line around the block, and I was absolutely mind blown. And that's, I mean, just testament to Harrisonburg. I think like we've lived here for 15 years, 14 years, and this is a supportive town. Like it really is. And it's folks, if you stick your neck out and do something here, people rally around that. And it's cool to
Agreed.
see. Yeah. And that's like, we knew that because we've been those people
of it.
too. Like we've seen this town come up in that way.
Right.
And so knowing that we're here, we're part of this, and everybody will rally like that. I think that helped ease those jitters a little bit. And I don't know that we could have done this anywhere else.
Yeah.
You had mentioned your dreams and your goals for the business, and then we talked a little bit about the pandemic and how that kind of gave you even more challenges. But I feel like those goals that you just mentioned have been achieved. I think that you have created a community. You've created a wonderful place for the arts to thrive and people to enjoy art. You've made wonderful cider. Your cider is actually delicious. It's not like, oh, we'll go to the cider, but no, it's good. It's drinkable. Come get some.
Yeah.
It's and you've provided a place for music and bubbles. Like you can go there, and there are sometimes people that have
Big
bubbles.
Yeah.
Hot dogs.
So fun.
Yeah.
I had a theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but do you think there's like a different vibe in a place that's serving cider as opposed to a place that's serving wine or beer? It just feels like a different.
I think you can definitely. I don't know that those are dependent on each other, but you can get different communities that are interested in different types of beverages. I think cider falls into a weird category sometimes, where it's not quite beer, not quite wine, both neither. And I think that there's challenges in that, but there's also a lot of independence in that, and a lot of we're not really tied to any one idea or culture, and we can kind of do what we want to do, and that's that's who we are too. We like to be expressive, and it feels like, this whole thing just really gives us a lot of opportunity to be ourselves.
Did we get the answer? Where are the apples?
I was thinking about how we totally skipped it.
I was like, wait a minute, where did the apples go?
They don't fall far from the tree.
You tried.
We do have a little baby orchard on site.
That's right.
But our friends at Glaize Orchard in Winchester, we worked with them when we were home brewing. We have this old 1800s apple press sitting on our front porch, and that's how we got into different types of apples, like a Wixon apple, an Albemarle Pippin, a Hughes Crab, all these different apples that a lot of people don't know about because you can't just buy them at the store. So we were able to go to this orchard before Sagebird was a thing, buy these bushels and press them on our porch, and that press is in our tap room right now, and we bring it out for Harvest Fest, and it's really fun and beautiful. But
all of our fruit comes from the Shenandoah Valley.
That's awesome.
So there's there's the myth of Johnny Appleseed, and he went around planting seeds for apple trees, but apple trees.
About to drop some science on us.
Yeah, man. You don't get the same sort of taste of apple by planting a seed. That's done by grafting.
Exclusively.
What is it? Heterozygote or something?
Oh God, I don't even know that. But
when you plant an apple seed, it's just what pollinates it that kind of decides how it's going to be.
Well, so it's apples don't grow true to seed. So if you cut open a Granny Smith apple and plant that seed, it will definitely not be a Granny Smith apple.
Right.
It will probably be similar. It might share some characteristics, but it does not there is no way to propagate a variety of apple without grafting. So if you think Golden Delicious, there are probably millions of Golden Delicious trees. Every single one came from one single tree and has been grafted off of that.
This entirely changes my worldview.
They do that with the Tootsie Roll. They have all the Tootsie Roll batches have the original Tootsie Roll in the batch.
Because if you just plant a Tootsie Roll on the ground, it's not going to happen.
Nothing happens. You have to use a piece of its elders.
What's your limitation?
But hold on.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Excuse
me.
No, I love this stuff. I love talking about the science of it.
So the apple trees that Johnny Appleseed planted, those apples were not for eating.
Most of them are probably gross.
Yeah, probably cider apples.
They were probably cider apples.
Probably.
Yeah. You don't want to. We don't have. This is not a long enough podcast for me to get going on this.
Are you suggesting that Johnny Appleseed, American hero, was a drunk? Because I'm here for it.
Well, possibly.
Likely,
I don't know. Yeah, just based on his style of planting.
Well, that is so. Just again, real quick. Most apples, eating apples, are not a very old thing because refrigeration. So, apples were grown for cider. That's really what apples have been grown for a long, long time. Is for alcohol.
Yeah.
And because that's how you preserve fruit when you don't have refrigeration. So. A lot of these apples are inedible. They're super tannic. We use a lot of crab apples. I don't know if you've ever bitten into a crab apple.
Oh,
it's terrible.
Yeah.
But it makes phenomenal cider because everything that makes it terrible to eat is what gives it texture, gives it body, gives it complexity in the cider itself.
Yeah.
Do they grow them commercially for cider, crab apples?
Yes. I mean, it depends kind of on your commercial definition. But the orchard that we work with, that's why we love working with them, is they grow a lot of that heirloom fruit that has characteristics and qualities that we're looking for.
Well, I'll say another thing that you guys excel at is your events. You do fun, funky, cool events.
We like to party.
Annuals. You do the you had the hot dog eating contest, the dog days of summer. But you do and then you have a weekly thing. What are all the weekly events you guys have at your place right now?
Oh yeah, we've got Thursday trivia,
Friday
karaoke. Saturday you can often find music in the tap room. Every Sunday we have brunch and live music. We're always trying to draw whoever wants to come in to do something. We'll always invite them in and let them do something.
Makes sense. You got Magpie right across there, and everyone's just sitting around waiting to get a tape.
Yeah, I know. For sure. For real.
So, it's come over here and have a drink while you wait.
Right. Might as well.
You have a lot of do something in the mornings too, right? Isn't there something?
Oh yeah, we have yoga on Sunday mornings too. Yeah,
with the center local business.
Yeah, we do. We like to party. We like to have fun, and we like to again do. I think we think about what would we like to do?
Yeah.
And we have a space and the means to do those things for other people. So let's do it.
I like those craft shows. Yeah, you get some good people,
Lots of markets.
good
Thank
vendors
you.
in there.
Oh yeah, we do a lot of markets throughout the year. A lot of them in November and December because that's when people are looking to shop. But yeah, like Zach's saying, we have this big, beautiful space, and so why not invite other people to use it who don't have that same access or downtown location or that kind of thing?
Yeah.
You use that as a wonderful art gallery. Your first Friday, the things that you show each month is beautiful. You have some of my favorite Harrisonburg artists in there, like the other Zach that does the sewing. And
Guessford?
Yes.
Zach Guessford? Yeah.
Love his stuff.
It's very cool.
And then you resuscitated the deck show, which I am forever grateful for.
It's coming up this year.
This December.
Has everyone already signed up for it?
Oh, yeah. We had a waiting list this year.
Awesome.
54 artists all drew a card randomly and are now creating an art piece for that card that we will then turn it back into a deck of cards.
Playable deck of cards.
Beautiful.
That you can take home with you. Yeah, that's an old Larkin Arts show. And
Thank you for
Valerie
resuscitating
and Scott, Paul Summers, Tripp, Madison, they did a lot of work there. And, when Larkin closed, it was a real shame. I mean, it was a loss for the gallery space, for the art store that they brought, just the culture. And we were impacted by that a lot and just wanted to bring that back. So it was with their blessing that we did that. But yeah, we're excited to do it for the second time. And I think it's going to be even better than last year. And yeah, really, really excited about the artists we have this year.
Listeners, if you're intrigued by this, the deck show, they have decks available for sale. They make wonderful gifts. It's a very unique, wonderful Christmas gift. And I know it's August, but, if you like that holiday, think about that.
Yeah, no, it's, I can remember. I can remember when we owned the grill, and when you have a space, and you and you can say yes to random people,
right?
And it's kind of fun,
yeah.
And you never know what you're gonna get, and sometimes it's a win, and sometimes it's a break even. But it's never really a loss.
No,
it's never really like, oh, that just was a horrible thing, you know. It's you might not do it again, but
right, you don't always make money, but it's totally worth the cultural element of it. And the grill, I wanted to, the first time I ever met you, Chris, was you were running open mics at the grill on Thursday nights, I think. That was some of our early dates.
Yeah,
we've been married for 10 years now. So you open mic at the Little Grill was some of our first exposure to downtown Harrisonburg culture.
Where'd you all come from?
Mars.
Ciders from Mars.
Also, they're cool.
Great stuff.
Yeah, I grew up my dad was military. I moved around a little bit when I was young, but I grew up mostly in Virginia Beach area, Yorktown specifically, but nobody knows where that is.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm from Fredericksburg, but we both went to JMU.
Gotcha,
so that's what got us to Harrisonburg.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it, though. Ciders from Mars, those folks. Are you connected with them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Virginia Cider is
we
such
talk
a family.
about Stanton
It's
quite
great.
a bit, too. So
No, they're good folks. They're old Harrisonburg
They
people,
opened
too.
a year after us, so we were all the newbies in the Virginia Cider, kind of working together.
And we've got a similar ethos, and we're making similar cider, and we're close enough. We lend equipment and stuff. It's definitely there's a lot of collaboration within that community for sure.
Who's running that place? Is it Valerie still involved?
I don't know if she is. Nikki West is the
and
primary
Jeremy
person.
Parker, Jeremy.
That's the radio guy, I think. Yeah, Jeremy is the other guy. But yeah, Nikki West, who was in Crossed Out Airs, a band back in the day here. She was involved with Mac Rock and X Jam and stuff. Yeah.
Any of the events that you've had?
Yeah.
Do you have an event that stands out?
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I think probably the Wolf Bat show.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the guy's name. Dennis McNett. He's actually based out of Luray. Didn't grow up there, but based out of there now. Does awesome big hand carved wood block prints on muslin cloth 8 feet tall, and it's all very cool punk metal sort of imagery. And we did a show that was kind of last minute. We had an artist that did a show with that, with Earthling and Crowd, 2 local metal bands played, and then we followed up the next month with a show from Elliott Downs. Then it was just this it was awesome. It's just a bunch of stuff that's an aesthetic that I really love.
Yeah.
And it was super cool to be able to host all that. Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh no, it's another one of those things when the town is small. But
so eclectic though.
Oh, absolutely.
The
Elliot is one of the owners of Wonder. You know, I mean, like so, you know, but he helped us down here so much. That's how I really got to know Elliot. Was when we were building the arcade.
Oh yeah, he can fix anything.
Yeah, and you know, he was helping me fix pinball machines and stuff like that, and it's just great.
We have apple trees planted on his property.
Oh, you do?
It's kind of weird. I'd mow his lawn in exchange to grow trees on his property.
I went to a cider pressing party, and there were so many bees.
Oh yeah.
I said I can't hang at a cider pressing party. The bees were you know where this is at your old house, Dan. It was at your house.
Yeah, out in Kieseltown.
And Kieseltown, and they had this cider pressing party.
We'd had
much
one
fun.
every year. We I think we pressed 22 gallons one year, which was really nice.
Yeah.
Big old hand powered.
Oh yeah, I know that life.
Hand-powered press.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite events we do is when we press apples on the press.
Yeah. Oh, you do it at the...
We do it at the cidery once a year in November for our Apple Harvest Festival. And it's just a cool, like, reminder of our roots of cider making because we did it on our porch, but also just reminding everyone that where apples and cider come from.
It's funny. I remember as an elementary school student, that was one of our field trips. We went to go visit an apple press, and we got to hold our cup up to it and squeeze it. And we're like, oh, it's good.
Did you go out to Showalter's orchard?
I think it was.
That was
Probably, They're still going, making cider out there, too. Right. Beautiful property.
Are you allowed to ferment anything besides apples under your
fruit? Yeah, any fruit. So
legally, we're a winery.
You're legal? Oh, gotcha.
A cidery is not a legal definition, according to Virginia, at least. So there are wineries, breweries, and distilleries, and those cannot overlap. But any fermented fruit, also honey and rice, for some reason, but are wine.
Any plans for a Perry that is a pear cider?
No. I don't dislike pears. Yeah.
Experiences with
I made a Perry twice at home, and both times it's one of the few things I've ever just dumped out because pears are weird. Again, I can get real sciencey. I won't for the sake of time. Pears are weird to ferment because of their pH, and they end up. Mine tasted like acetone. So, you know, I like to not put that sort of thing
uppity.
Out. Yeah, they're uppity.
I got you. Yeah,
in their
uppity.
pH.
Uppity.
Yeah.
They spell it PHERMINA.
Ferment.
TATION. TION.
Thanks, Brittany.
Was that an EMP that just happened?
Thus, that concludes our special coverage. We now return to our regularly scheduled programming. Jay.
4 years. Hold on now. So 4 years. Do you have anything planned for the 4-year anniversary?
Yeah. This Saturday, August 31st, we have some really cool new ciders that Zach has been making out there. Aperitifs. So they're fortified and they have a bunch of botanicals in them.
Aperitif.
Very new and fancy and fun that we've never made before. We're putting that out on Saturday. We've got live music with the milestones and strong water.
Yeah.
Some giveaways for some exclusive merch items.
Nice. Yeah, we like to party. So any opportunity, we'll take it.
End of year teacher party was awesome.
Oh yeah, I was a teacher, so I gotta keep that going.
I love that you did that. I mean, we went and Mariana was like, "Oh, I'm a teacher." I was like,
"Come on,
sign up!" Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah, we did a back to school one this year too. Yeah. Our first time doing one for back to school. We had a bunch of giveaways, more school supply related.
I was shocked at the amount of giveaways that you had.
100. It was ridiculous.
It was in June. Yeah,
it's crazy.
100 giveaways.
Y'all, that's impressive.
And we partner. This is we like to partner with other community members too, and like stakeholders in what we're doing as well. And so we partner with Emily Heatwell. What is I'm going to forget the acronym.
The VAAEYC.
VAAEYC.
The Valley Association for the Education of Young Children.
We like to partner with organizations like that to, we feel like it brings more vitality to our events, but it also gives a little bit more purpose to what we're doing also. Like, let's support these folks. Let's, if nothing else, awareness, but often we try and do some donation element of it too.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. I'm glad
you could make it
out here.
Thank you so much.
And thanks to Ruby's Arcade and the historic Wine Brothers building in downtown Harrisonburg. When we all meet our Maker, floating on the fickle seas of fate, and question what our humble existence begat, we will think back fondly on your transcendent generosity. And there's duckpin bowling, too.
Yeah!
I'm Dan Easley.
All right, join us the 6th of September at Restless Moons for the Rolling Stones tribute. Thanks again to Amber, Lee, and Zach for coming down. Go down to Sagebird. They got cool T-shirts and hats and all kinds of
They
stuff.
also have great non-alcoholic mocktails.
And
true.
lots of food. Just come for dinner.
And drink some cider and have a good time. We'll see you after the Bronze Age collapse. And next week for Bingo is Life.
Bingo is Life, a post-bingo Harrisonburg podcast, is brought to you by the Brothers How to Show and our friends at Ruby's Arcade in downtown Harrisonburg, Virginia. If you've enjoyed the show and feel it's worth spreading a little joy in this world, please tell just one person that you like this podcast. Word of mouth, more than any other form of promotion, is how creative works get noticed and sustain themselves. Thank you, Andrew Hickey, for that bit of wisdom, and thank you, listeners, for being part of the fun.